What if the problem was never your texting game in the first place? What if the real reason you feel confused is because you keep interrupting the only honest signal you were ever going to get? Silence. For 30 days, I stopped double texting. No follow-up meme, no just checking in, no extra question mark, no fake casual re-entry 3 hours later. And almost immediately, something uncomfortable happened. Her interest got clear. Not better, not worse, clear. That's the part nobody tells you. Most guys think double texting is harmless, just effort, just showing interest, just keeping the conversation alive. But a lot of the time, you're not keeping it alive. You're doing CPR on something that already died. And because you keep reviving dead conversations, you never get the truth. You get delay. You get false hope. You get these tiny, artificial bursts of attention that make you think there's still something there. So I ran an experiment. 30 days, one rule. If I sent a text, I was done. No second message unless she replied first. Simple. Brutal. Embarrassingly revealing. Because when you remove the second text, you remove your ability to edit reality. You can't smooth over her low effort. You can't explain away the gap. You can't pretend the conversation is still warm when you're the only one touching it. And that's when patterns start showing up. The first pattern was, speed means nothing. Some women replied fast and still had low interest. A quick haha means nothing. A heart reaction means nothing. Even a same-minute reply can be empty if it doesn't move the conversation anywhere. That was the first illusion that broke. Response time is not interest. Investment is interest. Does she ask anything back? Does she reopen the conversation later? Does she offer detail without being pulled for it? Does she make the interaction easier, not harder? That's the test. Not speed, not emojis, not whether she replied before lunch. The second pattern was even stranger. Some women I thought were mixed signals weren't mixed at all. I was mixing the signal. That's what double texting does. It contaminates data. You send one message. She hesitates. That hesitation means something. Then you send another message to reduce your own anxiety. Now, if she replies, you don't know what she's replying to. The original message? The pressure of the follow-up? The guilt? The convenience of having something easy to answer? You think you got clarity, but you actually blurred the evidence. The moment I stopped doing that, confusion started disappearing. And not because women changed, because the fog did. Some conversations ended instantly. No reply, no follow-up, done. That stung. But it was clean pain. Way better than the stretched-out kind. Way better than spending 6 days decoding one dry sentence and the laughing emoji. Other conversations got stronger. And that was the part I didn't expect. When there was real interest, the silence didn't kill it. It exposed it. She would come back. She would ask something. She would reference what I said. Sometimes she'd even double text me. Not because I played a game, because she actually wanted the connection to continue. That's the thing. Real interest has momentum. It doesn't need to be dragged uphill every single time. And if it does, it's not momentum. It's maintenance. You're not building attraction. You're managing decay. That was the third pattern. A lot of men confuse access with interest. She still answers sometimes, so you assume there's potential. She hasn't blocked you, so you assume there's room. She replies every once in a while, so you assume she's just bad at texting. Maybe, but maybe not. Because someone can be open to your attention without being interested in you. That's a painful distinction. But once you see it, your whole dating life changes. Some people like being liked. They enjoy the check-in. They enjoy the validation. They enjoy knowing you're still there. That does not mean they want to build something with you. And double texting feeds that dynamic perfectly. It lets someone receive your energy without ever having to invest their own. It creates a one-way emotional subscription. You keep paying, they keep consuming. Nothing moves. And the worst part is you call it patience. You call it consistency. You call it not giving up too early. But deep down, it's usually fear. Fear that if you stop pushing, everything will collapse. And that fear tells you something important. If your absence instantly ends the connection, then your presence was the only thing holding it up. That isn't mutual interest. That's life support. By the second week, the experiment became less about women and more about me. Because I started noticing when I wanted to double text, it was almost never coming from confidence. It came from uncertainty, from wanting relief, from wanting to force the moment back under control. The second text was rarely about her. It was about my discomfort with not knowing. That changed everything. Because now the double text looked different. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't bold. It was a self-soothing behavior, a way to reduce tension, a way to avoid sitting still long enough for reality to answer. And once you see that, it gets harder to justify. Because the real discipline is not waiting 3 hours. The real discipline is emotional non-interference. Can you leave the interaction alone long enough to see what it actually is? Can you stop performing interest long enough to measure hers? Can you tolerate the silence without bribing it to speak? Most people can't, which is why most people stay confused. They keep interrupting the feedback. Then they complain they never get clarity. By day 20, something else happened. My self-respect got quieter. Not louder, quieter. I didn't feel more alpha. I didn't feel more powerful. I just felt less scattered, less reactive, less available to every little shift in tone. That's when I realized the biggest benefit of not double texting isn't strategic. It's psychological. You stop bargaining with ambiguity. You stop chasing reassurance in tiny installments. You stop handing your mood to a read receipt. And when that happens, you become much harder to emotionally manipulate. Not because you're cold, because you're clear. Now, does this mean you should never send 2 texts in a row? No. Context matters. If you forgot something, add it. If you're making actual plans, be normal. If you're in a relationship, this is different. But early on, when you're trying to figure out if attraction is real, constant follow-ups are expensive. They cost you clarity. They cost you composure. And eventually, they cost you time. Because every extra message can buy you one more day of false uncertainty. That's the hidden price. And here's the payoff nobody talks about. The most valuable sign of interest is not that she replies, it's that she helps. She helps the conversation breathe. She gives you something to work with. She meets you halfway without being coached, nudged, or rescued. That's the insider tip. Stop asking, did she text back? Start asking, did she carry weight? Because attraction is not measured by contact alone. It's measured by contribution. Anyone can reply. Interested people participate. That one distinction will save you months, maybe years. So what did the 30 days teach me? If she liked me, things got easier. If she didn't, things got obvious. And obvious is a gift, even when it bruises your ego, especially then. Because confusion feels hopeful, but clarity is what actually sets you free. So if you're tired of decoding half energy, tired of inventing reasons for someone's inconsistency, tired of turning silence into a puzzle you need to solve, try this. Send the text. Then stop. No second wave, no rescue mission, no editing the outcome. Let the silence speak before you do. Because when you stop double texting, you don't lose people who were meant for you. You lose access to illusions. And sometimes, that's the first real upgrade.